I introduce to you my next panel here so that we get to continue with our conversation this morning and what is shaping headlines in the country today, which is the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Quite a lot of reactions as far as this is concerned. There are those that are, welcoming this particular move by the National Assembly. There are those that are saying, against this particular move, claiming that the National Assembly seems to have been bought in order to vote a particular way impeachment is concerned. The Deputy President, of course, did share a Bible verse on his social platforms and said it is well. And of course, I'm going to read that Bible verse later on just to tell you, bring you up to speed as far as this is concerned and what his next steps will be. Of course, from this particular moment, we expect that he will also be facing the Senate to try and defend himself from this impeachment. And if that does not work, then maybe he will be going to the courts and the corridors of justice to try and see whether the judicial system will back him with his arguments, trying to stay in office. People have that's beyond repair. Why would you fight to want to keep it alive if at all you and your boss are not seeing eye to eye? Odoyo Widi joins me this morning. He's a political analyst. Once again, we meet, sir. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for giving me this seat here today.
Yeah, it has been a minute. You disappeared. I haven't had you on set for a minute. Where did you go to?
Then I'm just around. I only happen to sometimes work from Kisumu. But here I am here in Nairobi today.
Yeah. Now this is a national conversation, I believe, national conversation.
Exactly.
It has stopped being a regional conversation. We are not talking about Mount Kenya today, but you're talking about it's a national conversation because this is the second man in the country when it comes to power. And he's the deputy president. It is historic because we haven't experienced something like this for a minute. And here we are, under the 2010 Constitution, the deputy president stands impeached by the National Assembly. From where you sit and what we've been able to experience, how did Rigathi Gachagua get himself to this particular position?
Actually, I had expected at one point in time that his very mouth, his very tongue that brought him all these tribulations will get him out of it. But unfortunately, he tried, he took it on an overdrive, but he never got out of it. Actually, Rigathi Gachagua more or less got himself here by his words more than his deeds. It is the many things he said that brought him here. In fact, I was surprised yesterday that some of those people relied on the things he said just a day before to pin him down, to nail him. So I don't think he has much of a chance. Of course, I know whenever you lose, there's always an excuse here and here. I stepped on this, I slipped, such things. Like now I've seen a narrative going around that the MPs were bribed. I think both Rigathi Gachagua and whoever is people are claiming bribed those MPs had equal chances of bribing them. So let's take it that...
No, we are not promoting the corruption one.
Of course, we are not promoting, but you see, when you want to start using that as an excuse, when you have no evidence, then we are also at liberty to say everybody had equal chance of bribing those MPs if they are bribable. But I think that is, again, another way of belittling the MPs. And I think the Senate is probably watching because that is the next thing they're going to say. If the Senate rules another way, they will say, oh, the Senate was also bribed. If they are really bribed, you should talk about that bribery before you go before them. But you wait until they throw you under the bus, then you say they were bribed. I think that is being dishonest with it.
All right. And I also want to welcome on set Julia Chege. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
You good?
Thank you.
Well, is it a chilly? How is your morning today?
My morning?
Based on what is happening in the country?
There are quite a number of things that are happening. So where do I start?
We start from the political front because that seems to have overtaken most of the important issues that we need to be focusing on.
Okay, thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me here. I left very many things to come here because this is a matter of interest to most of us who care for this country. And our MPs yesterday, they didn't do what we didn't expect. We expected them to do that. And I don't know whether I'll be looked like somebody who is insultive or what. But I think in my mind, we have so many idiots in this country, but at least we can start by elimination method. We have 281, first of all, ratified, because whatever they did yesterday, I think most Kenyans, they had already spoken. They did a funny public participation, which said dereva kufa, makanga kufa, and also get the mechanic. And I'm so excited
the
that
mechanic,
we are about to lose the EU process. I didn't want it to go that way, but I'm a bit excited because of yesterday.
Okay.
If we get the EU, I think I'll be the saddest person. But if we don't get it, I'll be the happiest person.
But the EU is supposed to be a matter of national pride.
As we speak right now in this country, we do not seem to have a country that is really supposed to be proud of their democracy. Because and I want to speak like a lay person, though I'm not, I think because they came together, the president and the deputy president, both of them should go. That's a fair game.
All right.
It's not that I support either of them. I actually don't care if this government falls tomorrow.
Okay.
Because it doesn't help.
Why have you gotten to that point where you
I actually, because you see, every time, like look at the issues that were being raised by the deputy president. We are talking of extrajudicial killing. We are talking of the Adani. We are talking of the Chief and Shah. Something that is not working. We are talking of other issues that have not been spoken about. We have our children, they're at home. You know, on a day-to-day from 8 to 5, I'm at the University of Nairobi, and I can tell you, most of our students, they're in the hostels. They don't know whether to do, they'll sit for their exams or not, because the help has not been disbursed. So if we cannot talk about pertinent issues that are affecting the country, and we want to be lost in the shenanigans of impeaching a deputy president, when we know very well somebody somewhere want to extend the term limit, so that one is about to go down on 25th of this month. You know, it's a proposal, and because of the shenanigans that is in Parliament, I'm sure it's going to pass, because they also want to stay there, because they know 2027 they'll all go home. So if we are lost in those suckers, we also don't have an IBC. So if we impeach the president, who takes over? Is it the guy who we are told that they shared the
30%.
The 30%.
We'll come to that. All right. Let me get you. This is the question I asked Odo here before you came in, and this was how did we get to this particular point where we are now impeaching the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua? Is this something that to him as a man, as a political figure? How did he get to this particular point? Let me get your point on that before I bring in Odo.
How we got to this point? I think it's a political gimmick and a theatric. And there are two scenarios. If he goes to Senate, the president might decide to save him and look like he's the good guy. And that's scenario number one. Scenario number two, he may be impeached, you know. And I just spoke to a certain member of parliament, and proudly he's saying that the interior CS will be the kingpin. But I also want to remind our people, the ones that are really propagating that narrative, their road is in the fire, and it's going to come up. And without a shadow of doubt, the majority leader, his time is coming. And you know, revolutions eat themselves, and this is a revolution that is already eating its people. And I think one of the casualties that will be there would have been our member of parliament for Kiharu, but at least he is wise, aliruka, and I salute him, Mheshimiwa. And you should tell your brother, who looks like your age mate anyway, he should stand up and see tomorrow is likely also to be impeached, or something will happen to him politically.
Let me start from, you know, there's quite allegations put there by Julia as far as how the House got to conduct itself in this particular process.
They are not allegations. Let's start from there.
What are you calling
I mean, if they could do an impeachment yesterday out of hearsay, at somebody was called a prostitute, somebody was is thinking of Olive Garden. I mean, those are hearsays. So what I'm saying here, at least I can produce facts. I know.
All right. Noted.
Yes.
Noted.
I think we need to plug in some of the statements she had made. To sit here and talk about Adani, which has not even become a contract, to sit here and tell us this intention to extend the term limit and not see those ones as hearsays, because
there is a proposal. The public has been invited to
is that
engage
proposal by
in a
President
public
William Ruto or by some Kenyan somewhere?
That is a proposal by the senator for Nandi. That is
let's start with Senator Fernandi. Is one of the only few people who are supporting Dr. Rigathi Gachagua. Anyway, let's go back to this. You know, when you say the president and the DP has to both go, I wonder where you are talking from. Because we have an article in the Constitution for impeaching the president and one for impeaching the DP. And nobody has stopped anyone from impeaching the president. If anybody thinks that President William Ruto has equally breached the Constitution like his DP has done, there is still time, and Parliament is not being dissolved. After impeaching Rigathi Gachagua, they can then impeach President William Ruto if they think they have the numbers and he has committed such crimes. Also, I listened to one Junet Mohammed say make a very profound statement that many people didn't even take notice in response to Kofa Makanga, Kofa Dereva. He said that when you have a Makanga who is struggling to take the steering wheel from the driver forcefully, then he deserves to be impeached. I also listened to one Otiende Amolo also make a very profound statement. He said, if in this bus where we have the Makanga and the conductor, and the driver, and there are passengers in it, and you impeach both, whom are you going to leave these passengers with? We need to protect Kenyans. And all the allegations that Dr. Rigathi Gachagua has been accused of, none of them has been committed by President William Ruto. And I've even heard people saying, oh,
but his defense in most cases just involved the president. The defense he was putting to many allegations that he's been accused of, what he was playing as evidence is just, my boss did this years back. My boss said this.
Yes.
I have not done nothing away from what, you know, the president himself was doing when he was actually deputy president.
You know, to go back and say the president said this, it also depends on circumstances and context in which the president spoke then. Even then, there was a parliament which should have also tried to impeach the DP then. But they knew they did not have evidence and they did not have numbers. You cannot say because so-and-so committed this crime, I am also supposed to commit it and go scot-free. What you need to do, answer your case and then bring this case also and say the president once said this. But you see, again, that one of the president has been overridden by the mandate he was given by Kenyans. And you see, there's a mistake many people are making, especially the supporters of the DP. They are saying that now he's being removed because he's a Mount Kenya kingpin. One thing you need to know, Dr. Rigathi Gachagua is a creation of President William Ruto. He's not a creation of the people of Mount Kenya. He's not a creation of the 7.2 million he's talking about. It is President William Ruto who nominated him to serve in that position. And then he's trying now to build himself as the kingpin.
I was in Nyeri and a resident said we elected Ruto because of Gachagua, because they were both on the ballot. You want to say he did not contribute in any way to the votes of the mountain? Julia?
You ask me a question and you don't let me answer, you move.
Let them try and call on an election tomorrow without a Mount Kenya person. And then we see. I mean, the ODM is in bed with government right now. And we are actually waiting. It was actually a bait and for this to actually go on and over and all that. We are over Rigathi. We will go to Senate and he might be upheld or what, because I believe Senate has more sober people than Parliament. Parliament is full of people.
If Senate gets to uphold what the National Assembly has done, would you change your mind on that?
No. No.
Okay.
No, I will not change. I say today, if they impeach the deputy president, they should also impeach the president. That I will not change. At least I'm sure you know me. I will not. I'm a mind of my own, and I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody. So if I decide today I'm supporting you, I am supporting you to the end.
Okay.
If I decide I'm not supporting you, I'm not supporting you,
right.
irrespective of how much money I would be given, either in the toilet or in the corridors of K24 or wherever. That has been happening in some
Odo, you wanted to respond to my question before I take a break?
Yeah, I have even lost what you had.
No,
You had challenged me on something and you didn't let me even respond. But let me say something about talking about impeaching the president. In Kenya, we like pretending. We like assuming that Rigathi never talked about anything like shares in this country. But let me tell you, since the advent of the new constitution, only one community has been president. And then they brazenly hold a meeting in Limuru, talk in mother tongue, and say bad things, including...
You have a problem with Mount Kenya speaking in mother tongue? Excuse me.
Wait.
No, my brother.
Wait. No.
If he condemns Mount Kenya when I'm here...
You will go to it. You see, from after me it is you.
Okay,
so those things will say when it is
done.
Just a moment.
No, I will say it.
Just a moment.
Defend it, you wait for your time.
Okay, I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond to this.
These people go to Limuru and say the Ruto must go, and if he goes, nobody else will be president in this country. When Kenyatta was president, there was no coup. When Moi became president, there was a coup. When Kibaki was president, there's no coup. Okay. When Uhuru was president, there's no coup. When Ruto is president, there is agency coup that was organized and planned in Limuru 3 and funded by them.
We can't ascertain that. There's no evidence to support your allegations.
There's evidence because the statements were made, and I have them all translated.
My brother, do you know we lost our children in Madamano? Maybe he never lost anybody.
I didn't send my children. How would I lose them?
That's why you're talking arrogantly like that on a national TV. People lost. Kenyans lost. Young people died. And I'm not in the habit of disrespecting my seniors, but I cannot rate them also cheaters on a national TV. We lost Kenyans. We lost healthy minds. We lost people who are educated, not idiots who are in parliament, doing funny things in parliament, and cheating each and every person. We lost young people. We lost the future of tomorrow. And then he is here trying to say it was a coup.
It was.
Excuse me. Gen Z, actually, you should, Gen Zs of this country, I'm your mother, you should look at this face.
What we would like to say, the people took to the...
Let me tell you,
young people took to the streets.
That was greeting people was sponsored, hired, and paid. They are nowhere.
Okay.
In fact, I've been told about them, and I've wished to meet them. I've never met them.
We are the mothers of Gen Zs. Don't say you have been told. I should be telling you, but you don't give birth. We give birth.
I also have them.
Okay. I do want to take a short break here on New Dawn. Of course, continue engaging us on our social, also on the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. It will be sampling your feedback as we continue the program this particular morning.